Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is Becca. My Instagram is rjmfitness _ before and after. So, it's been a couple weeks since I made a video. I just did a little bit of cardio. I go back to work in about 35 minutes. I leave. Y'all know, I'm a bus driver. Have a break in the middle of the day. So, got my water. Taking some Zycam. Taking this during the day because I feel a cold coming on. So I'm going to take care of that. So today's video, I don't know how long it's going to necessarily be, but it's just a little bit of life with bipolar disorder and depression and how my ADHD, ADD combined does affect me and how it actually helps me. Living life with bipolar is interesting. I've apparently had it my entire life, and I noticed it definitely, looking back after talking with my therapist, looking back, it definitely spikes and comes out full force with any hormonal change. So, I had a lot of mood swings and anger issues when I was younger. I hit puberty very young. I hit it about 8 or 9. I had no idea how to cope with it. I was still in elementary school. I didn't get my period until I was 10. But I started puberty and everything around 8. So around 3rd grade, 8 to 9, 3rd grade, 4th grade. So being that young, I didn't really know how to really cope with any of those. And hormones are surging. And I was basically like manic and mood swingy for years. It didn't calm down until I was about like somewhere between 5th and 6th grade, transitioning from elementary to middle school after we went through that whole like puberty lesson in 5th grade. We had that in 5th grade at my elementary school. I don't know when you guys do that. I know other people do like health classes and stuff like that, but we discussed that in 5th grade. And then obviously we took health in 6th grade and other years in middle school and high school. But didn't really start to calm down, but I noticed it spikes. So whenever I had any hormonal changes, like when I was about between age 16 to about 19, it definitely spiked because that's when a lot more of my eating issues came out. I've had not a good relationship with food since I was in elementary school. Always thought I was fat, always thought I was overweight. That's a video for another day. But because I was going through that anorexia, binge eating, everything like that, my hormones were definitely very up and down during those years, especially between age 18 and 19. More like 17 to 18, but definitely when I was 18, because I was like, I'm an adult, I can do whatever the hell I want. And yeah, that's not the case. Dated some people I probably shouldn't have been dating. My friends were not the best. I never got into trouble. I never put myself in any point that I could get in trouble. But I definitely was rebelling against my parents. And I was like, oh my god, my life is so horrible. Da 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 da. Like, me and my mom would, like, screaming fights. And, yeah, so it was definitely coming out then. It calmed down for a couple years. It came out a little bit when I was dating a guy when I was 21, 20 to 21, came out a little bit, just because my emotions were all over the place, because this guy was just a narcissist, and, again, videos for another day. And then, when I was competing in bodybuilding, it came out. So, like, not as bad as postpartum and pregnancy, but bad, because my hormones were all over the place. I lost my period, and then I was just like, meh, for a while. And then when everything started to come back, it was coming out again, and I was crying for no reason. My anxiety was so high. It was bad. Like, I didn't get into, like, screaming fights. Me and my boyfriend at the time, it was just not a good time. I would just yell at him for no reason. I ended up breaking up with him. Or he broke up with me. Or it was mutual. I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was mutual. But I would just, like, yell at him for no reason. Did that make me a shitty person and very toxic? Of course. But I chalked it up to, like, I thought, you know, he was not supportive, he was not supporting me, he just wanted me for my looks. But the bipolar was definitely giving me, like, severe mood swings, and it was coming out because my hormones were crazy. But, and then, of course, you know, postpartum and pregnancy, it comes out like a mofo. Like, this came out in, like full-blown mania. It's crazy. And obviously doing a lot better since I've been on medication, going to therapy. I journal when I remember, when I think about it. I let my husband know, like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm really upset. I don't really know why. This is triggering me. And, like, we kind of talk through it when I actually remember, and I don't just, like, blow up on him for no reason. When I actually, like, you know, communicate. But living life with bipolar is, like, it's easy, but it's hard all at the same time. Because if you're hearing noise, my cat is running around freaking spastic. And those Pop-Tarts are my husband's Pop-Tarts. Take to work. Enjoy the giant box Pop-Tarts behind me. Anyway, like, it's easy and it's hard because some days are definitely really easy. Go with the flow. Don't really have any mood spikes. Everything's copacetic. I feel good. I feel good on the inside. I feel good on the outside. I've got a good outlook. You know, the sun is shining, which thankfully the sun is shining today, so I can kind of, like, use that. But then there are days or even weeks where everything my husband does annoys me. Everything my bus kids do. Well, like, it won't just, like, I don't, like, lash out, but I'm a little bit more nitpicky with them. Like, I nitpick my bus kids more. Like, I'm more annoyed by my husband, and I nitpick my bus kids more. Like, everything, like, I tell everybody, like, you could be, like, partially turned around. I'm like, face forward! So, that type of thing. Or, you know, a driver doing the speed limit that goes, like, 2 under might irritate me a little bit more. So, the moods definitely go up and down and up and down and up and down. And I always know when they're going up and down, that I know an episode or a breakdown. I call them episodes because they basically are. They last for like 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half max. And then I come back down. I'm crying. I'm so upset. You know, I'm trying to, like, undo everything that I've done. But I can definitely tell that one is coming. It may not come that week, but I know that one is going to come. And I work very, very hard to make sure that I stay in control. Now, there are times where I do lose control and, you know, stuff happens. Stuff happens when, you know, because it gets, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, I'm throwing things, you know, but when I can stay in control, I usually just, like, get more, like, snappy and attitudinal, and I might raise my voice a little bit and just give my husband the silent treatment, but it doesn't really get bad. But living life with it is that, like, you can wake up, like, I can wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and I can feel amazing. By the time I leave for work at 6:10, I could be feeling like crap, in a bad mood, I have an attitude, I hate everything, but then by the time I get to work at 6:30, I'm feeling fine again. Like, that's the reality of it, is that it can happen like that, or you could have 2-3 days where everything's great, everything's amazing, and then all of a sudden you crash, where you feel like you're a burden to everybody, and you don't deserve to be here, and everything like that. It's very, very up and down. You can't always predict it. You can find your triggers, and you can find what triggers you, and what sets you off, but there's always going to be something else. You're never going to find every trigger because life is so unpredictable and every day is so different. Even if your job is the exact same every day, like I do the same route, I pick up the same kids, do the same thing. Traffic patterns could be different. There could be an accident. I could have to detour. You know, school may end up having to close early. We may end up having to go in late. I may end up getting a field trip at the last minute. So many things can change within life. Something could happen to the car. Something could happen to a friend. Anything could happen that will throw you off, and that could be a trigger. Like, you know, my cat could on a way, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm triggered. You know, my son over the holiday break, because he was home with me because daycare was closed for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So he was home with me Thursday, Friday, and then of course Saturday, Sunday, I went back to work yesterday. So it was just constant tantrums. If I left the room, if I didn't bring him with me, if he wanted to be held and I didn't want to hold him anymore because he's 30 pounds. You know, he gets heavy and I put him down, or he comes up from a nap and he just wants to, you know, cling to me, and I'm just like, oh my God. There were constant tantrums. He would cry because he didn't want to go to sleep and take his nap because he wanted to be with me, and that was a trigger in itself because it was constant tantrums. Like he's a happy little boy. He really is. He is such a happy boy, but you know, he doesn't, Monday through Friday, he's in daycare. My father-in-law is the one that currently takes him to daycare. My husband's the one that currently picks him up. Once the daycare moves, I'll be the one taking him to and from. So he'll get a little bit more time, but he's away from me. He is my mama's boy. So he is away from me for a good amount of hours during the day, and he only sees me for a couple hours at night. And then a lot of times we do work on Saturday, so he really only gets Sundays. So he was like, oh, I get more time. No, don't leave me. So that's definitely a trigger. You're constantly finding new triggers, but you're constantly finding new ways to cope with whatever that trigger is. So you're finding a new trigger, you find that trigger, and you figure out, okay, this is my trigger. Now I need to figure out how to cope. Like, I always look back on every episode that I had. Like, I just had one this past weekend, and I look at it like, oh, Sean's constant tantrums triggered an episode on Saturday. Let me figure out how to deal with this and figure out how I can not end up being triggered by Sean having an episode. So I figure out that, you know, if I have to just walk away from him and let him cry, like, for a couple minutes, that's fine. If I have to hold him for 20 minutes to let him be fine, that's fine. If I have to give him a snack, I give him a snack. Like, there's a lot of things to do. If I had to distract him by putting on his show, like, find ways to distract him and just constantly remind myself that he is a baby. He's not doing it on purpose. He's not doing it to be a brat. It's just, he's a baby and he loves his mama. So living life with it is constantly figuring out how to cope with the new triggers. You know, how to deal with every day, how to go, because when it doesn't really pop up, like, I'm a very high-strung, laid-back person. I'm okay with change, but at the same time, I'm not okay with change. So it's really just learning how to go with the flow, let things go, and not let things bother me that aren't important. So it's tough. It's a lot of mental work. I am mentally tired at the end of every day. I'm not physically tired. I am falling asleep by 8 o'clock because I am mentally tired. I am mentally exhausted because my brain is constantly working, because I'm constantly being like, okay, let's work on this. Let's do this. It's constantly going up and down. It's constantly doing this. Constantly. Thankfully, before it was doing this. My medicine keeps it more so doing this. But there are days where the medicines, even with the medicine, it's doing this. And it's constantly like fighting. It's a constant inner battle within myself. Because you've got one side being like, let it go. You've got the other side being like, let's brawl. So you're constantly having, and I know I'm saying constantly a lot, but you're literally always on the move with your brain. You're always in a battle with your brain. You're always fighting yourself, being like, okay, no, that's so minor, it's not important. Like, if somebody totaled your car, you have a right to, like, be upset and break down and cry. Because your car is totaled. But if you trip over a rock and you stumble and you get mad because you stumbled, that's really not a big deal. But these are things that if we're already kind of like on edge that day, that can set us off. So it's having to take that step back and say to yourself, this is just a bad moment. It's not a bad day. It's not a bad week. It's not a bad month, year, life. It's just a bad moment of the day. Because I like to use the analogy, and my therapist used the analogy too. If you blow a tire, are you going to slash all the rest of your tires just because one tire blew? No, you're going to fix that tire. If you're having a bad moment, do you really want to make the entire rest of your day bad? No. You're going to work through that moment to make the rest of your day be okay. And I know it's easier said than done, and I'm still a work in progress with it. But that's basically what life for me living with the bipolar is. It's the constant up and down, the constant fighting myself, the constant battle between my own brain, the constant, like, I want to be all lovey and snuggly with my husband, but my brain is telling me, no, fight him. Like, not actually physically fight, but you know what I mean. Like, start an argument, be petty, be nitpicky, and it's having to really just take that step back and be like, no, cool it, chill. So that's kind of what it is for me. I might do a vlog just going on like my day, just so you can see like the reality of what my day is like, and if I'm having any mood swings, you'll see it, we'll talk about it, we'll work through it. But just know that it does get easier. It does get better. You know, there's so many medications out there. So if your medication isn't working, try another one. Go and get a screening done. Get some more tests done. Go and see your therapist. Talk it out. And don't bottle it up. Don't keep it bottled up within you. Like, let it out. Let it out and talk to someone. Because somebody wants to listen to you. Somebody wants to be that shoulder to lean on. So that's it for today. I've got a couple other video ideas, couple vlog ideas. Not doing Vlogmas, but I'm going to try to post as consistently as I can during December, just to try and give you guys a glimpse of my life, more things that I have to say, and just, you know, try and help as many people, because we're all trying to figure out this crazy world together. All right. I will talk to you later. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you all in my next video. Bye.